Welcome to Makers of Tomorrow, the podcast where each episode we talk with founders, industry leaders, and innovators to explore the latest trends shaping brands and the consumer experience.
We are your hosts, Karine Mallet and Corey Gottlieb, founders of Replica, the social selling platform revolutionizing how brands connect, inspire, and sell in today's digital world. So whether you're a brand leader, entrepreneur, or just fascinated by the evolution of digital commerce, you're in the right place. Let's dive in. Today's guest is someone who literally built her brand around memories. We are thrilled to welcome Holly Daniels Christensen, a founder and designer behind Dune Jewelry Co, a one-of-a-kind jewelry brand that captures real sand and earth elements around the world and turns them into wearable memories. Whether it's sand from your favorite beach, soil from a childhood home, or something more unexpected, Dune Jewelry turns moments into meaning. Holly and her team have created over 5,500 unique pieces for customers who want to stay connected to the places they love. Let's dive into her incredible journey from beach walks to building a global brand. Welcome, Holly.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Holly, let's start at the beginning. Can you share some of the moments that sparked the idea for creating Dune Jewelry?
Absolutely. I grew up on Cape Cod, loving all the different beaches on the Cape. And my childhood best friend was creating ornaments. She was creating these ornaments made with unique beach sands from all over the Cape where we grew up. At that time, I was working in real estate sales in Boston. It was something I loved to do, but I wanted that side hustle. I wanted a creative outlet. So I was helping her with that business, going to arts and crafts shows and selling those for her. And the customers would consistently have the same feedback, which was basically, do you have my beach? And these ornaments would sell out. I mean, they would sell out at one show, or I'd have lines. And that recurring sentiment of, do you have my beach, my happy place, was just something that really stuck with me, that people took ownership of places that made them happy or that they had memories. And so we decided to take some jewelry making classes to see if maybe we could take it to the next level. And ultimately, I fell in love with the artistic palette that sand and earth elements gave me to play with. And Kelly continued with her business, and I ultimately launched Dune Jewelry in 2010.
Amazing. So tell us about your first piece and what it meant to put that first piece out.
I don't remember my first exact piece. My most memorable first piece was when one of my girlfriends came back from the Azores. She brought a little pinch of sand, and I made her a pair of Dune bar earrings that are still a design that's available on the site to this day. And every time I would see her, she would be wearing them. And that kind of prompted the confidence to move forward with the business, because at the time it was more of a hobby, and the fact that she loved them so much and she would wear them almost every single day was a huge confidence booster. And she actually still has those earrings today and is now my national sales manager.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
Yeah.
So since we're on the topic of unique pieces, tell us about the most unique piece that you still resonates today as like, oh my God, I can't believe we've made that.
Yeah, there are so many. Our customers are very, very sentimental. So not only will they send in sand, but they will send in ashes, cremains from loved ones. They will send, my gosh, someone sent in Chihuahua teeth once. That was interesting. They've sent pet hair because, of course, our fur babies are so important to us.
Right.
We've had people send crushed granite from the Rocky Mountains, coal that's been certified recovered from the Titanic. So from the depths of the ocean. We have a partnership with 4Ocean. So we use all these colored plastics recovered from our oceans. Actually, we've helped pull over 50,000 pounds of plastic out of the ocean with that collaboration. So really anything that, like the patent that I have states particulate matter. Obviously, that's not a very sexy marketing term, but anything that's particulate matter that holds memories or sentimental value can be put into any of our designs.
So who is your core customers?
Our core customer, it's females from 35 to 85. It's a huge range in age. It really tends to be someone who's lived enough life to want to create a tangible reminder of something special. So while the younger women do love Dune because of the aesthetic and the designs, the real value starts to come in once you have those moments that you want to capture.
Where are your pieces being sold?
They are being sold online on our website. That's about 25% of our business. The remainder of the business is wholesale, where we ship to about 400 locations all over the world. So these are a mixture of gift stores, jewelry stores, cruise ships, and museum stores. And a
And
little, other things in between, but that's the main distribution of
and
our
like,
wholesale.
do you curate it for like if you have a cruise ship and they do destinations in, let's call it the Caribbean, do you curate your pieces so that it's mostly Caribbean themed and based on their destination that they did on that trip?
We can. It depends on the buyer. Obviously, cruise lines are it's a huge business, and they want to keep it as simple as possible.
Right.
Could we get super granular down to the beaches that the guests are going on excursions? Yes, for sure.
It's amazing. So, your business is about 25% e-commerce, and then the rest is basically a wholesale model. When you look to the future and building your business or continuing to build your business, what are the ways in which you think you can grow your business out, and what are the plans to do so?
This answer changes every day for me because there are so many different avenues. We really are focusing on taking care of our retail partners. There are many brands who grow and then decide to pull back from their retail partners because they want to keep those dollars for themselves. Direct to consumer, obviously, it's more profitable. That's not our business model. We want to keep our retail partners happy. We want people excited when they're traveling, going into these stores, keep Main Street America alive. That's super important to me personally. And so
And
we
you're also
are,
selling could be location based keepsakes. So,
yeah,
so it would make logical sense that you would never cut out the retailers that are based in these locations.
for sure.
Right.
Absolutely. And so, yeah, we want to continue growing our retail presence, not only with new partners, but also with our own brick and mortar locations strategically placed throughout the US. So it's going to be a very experiential type of space. We're still working on it. We do have renders, and that's going to be really exciting.
Excellent. And do you have like super users? Do you have like people who keep coming back and ordering more and more pieces? And so, like, I know you described your
Yeah.
core customer, but who's that super user?
She is, I can name one of them, Kristen M, we will call her. She is amazing. She's been following me since the beginning. She happens to be a Cape Cod girl, and she's probably maybe around 50 years old. She's a mom. Her happy place is the beach, any beach she's happy. So we did a live together recently. Like I had her on just to say hi and introduce herself to our community. And she showed her collection. She has over 85 pieces of Dune.
Hmm.
So that's a super user. We do have people that have over 100. It's very collectible and it's very addictive once you understand the customization process. So, yeah, I'm lucky. I'm the luckiest person in the world because our customers are very loyal. They're very engaged. They're almost like having friends because there's so many platforms where we can connect, whether it's TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Granted, I don't get back to everyone's messages right away because there's too many places to connect,
That's
but
a good high class
majority of
problem.
yeah, majority of our customers literally know that if they need to talk to me, they can call the studio. They will hear back from me within 48 hours.
So that was actually a question I was going to ask you about how you engage with your loyal customers or your brand champions. Do you have like a loyalty program and a regular newsletter? How do you keep in touch with them on a regular basis aside from people, reaching out to you?
Yeah, I mean, content is consumed so quickly these days. We have our steadfast weekly emails where we do new launches or any promotions or fundraisers. We are very charitable, things like that. So we have our weekly emails that go out to maybe 100,000 people.
Wow.
We also have, gosh, over 100,000 followers on Facebook where we can connect. And then, of course, this is all Dune related. I have my personal Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok that is open completely to our customers. So we have a lot going on a lot of the time. And so I try to be as transparent as possible with everyone as to what's going on with the business.
But ultimately, you are telling them about the business and the pieces and keeping them involved and motivated. But I think one of the goals, or the maybe a secondary goal, maybe a primary goal, would be to sell more pieces, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
For sure. We recently have started doing a lot more live selling where we do sample sales once every couple of months where they're getting our closest people are getting a deep discount, and we're really getting a chance to interact. Those are big events for us. The live selling is really fun. You get to connect with everyone. They can give you their opinion, good, bad, and different, which is great. I love that. And our customers know that they have a say in everything we do, which is nice.
As you expand your business, how do you continue to do personalization for everyone?
You know, we really have it down to a science here. We're a 15-year-old business. My operations director has been with me since he was actually my assistant at 22 years old in real estate. So he's come up with me this entire time. My brand manager was his best friend. She was 21. She's come up with us this whole time. So my team is very
Seasoned.
integrated,
Yeah.
experienced, seasoned, and none of us came from the jewelry business. So I think that's probably why we do things a little bit different. Is the customization a challenge? For sure it is. Do we have designs that are not custom? Yes, because I get excited about a new stone or something that I want to work with, and we do launch designs that are not customized. But for the most part, we just have a great team and a great system.
So, just switching topics just slightly, you had mentioned just before a give back program that you have and partnerships that you have, and that you've taken a lot of plastics out of the ocean. I think that's an integral part of the brand. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, it's so important. I love to give back to our community as much as we can. We've donated a little over $250,000 to different charitable organizations over the past few years. And although that's not going to save the world, it's growing, and we're committed to that give back. The partnership with Four Ocean is amazing because the founder of Four Ocean, Alex, is always innovating, always finding ways to pull more and more and more plastic out of the ocean. And every single design that you buy from us pulls 5 pounds. So that's really
Wow.
exciting. I also am really in love with Sylvia Earle's Mission Blue, where she has spots all over the world that cannot be touched. And I think that's so important. We're going to keep doing that. Usually what we do is, and of course it has to benefit our business too. We're not a nonprofit. My team members need to get paid. So we'll do something like an online fundraiser where we underwrite a free gift with purchase, and 15% of revenue goes to the charity. I find it a little dicey when people say profits, 10% of profits,
Right.
15% of profits, because at the end of the day, it's hard to turn a profit in the world right now running a small business. So we're very particular about the language we use and how we donate.
Have you created special item for those organizations that they can sell, or?
We do, yeah. We have done that as well. I just got an inquiry from this amazing resort in Fiji, and they want to partner, but they also have a give back aspect. I can't talk too much about it because that's in the works, but we've worked with Coral Reef Restoration, so many different great organizations, the Association to Preserve Cape Cod.
Well, if we have to get to Fiji and
I
speak to them in
know.
person, I'm just a podcaster. What do I know? But I could certainly accompany the team on
Yeah.
that trip. I'm going to volunteer for that. I know that's very gifting of me. I
You
get
are
that.
so Yes, so charitable. Thank you. No, but right. I mean, it sounds amazing. I someday we'll get there.
It does sound amazing. So you have a very big list of people on your loyalty program, and 100,000 people, I think you said. So how do you engage them that obviously are very interested in what you're doing? And in all fairness, we did speak before this interview, and you know that we have a platform that helps brands of all sizes connect with their people. I'm just curious, had you thought about how to engage rather than speaking directly to them and just giving them more information, kind of engaging them to help really be your sales force out there to tell in their own voices how great your product is?
Yeah, I think most of that for us comes from loyalty programs on the website, comes from different collaborations we do with influencers that get them excited, follow giveaways, things like that. It's nice to just ask people to talk about your brand and be excited about it, but obviously that is not realistic. So for me, it's just very important to under promise, over deliver on everything that we do. And that seems to keep people going. We've got a customer service manager who answers the phone every day, Monday through Friday. Nothing's automated, just keeping things as close to authentic and organic as possible. How are we going to do that when we go from hypothetically, a $10 million business to a $20 million business? I don't have the answers for that, but I'm certain that there's technology out there to help us continue to stay close to our roots and not veer away from that too far, but also help simplify and streamline things.
Yeah, and honestly, you've really conquering some of the tougher aspects of starting a new business and building a business. You've been here for 15 years. So you're obviously doing something right. You've got over 5,500 pieces out there, so that's
Yeah.
also a true
Well,
testament to something.
yeah, 5,500 sands in our
Design.
sand bank. Right. So,
Oh,
but
tell us
we've
tell us
got
about the sandbank.
millions of pieces out there, millions upon millions. The sand bank is where we store all of our sand and earth elements that customers have sent in over the past 15 years to have custom designs made. So they will send it in. Inevitably, they send a little more than they need. We only use a few grains of sand in our
Hmm.
pieces. And then we contact them. Do you want it back? Now they have to check off a box. But back then we would contact them. Do you want it back? Can we keep it? Inevitably they say, please just keep it, add it to the sand bank. And it's a great system because it authenticates the sand and earth elements, because why would they want a piece of jewelry made from somewhere that somewhere they're making up? Or so it authenticates it, although we do have a sandbank manager who knows all of the geological makeup of sand from all over the world, which is wild.
That's
But
incredible. It's like the
Yeah.
ultimate sandbox. I mean,
it's amazing. Yeah, it's amazing. So 5,500 sands and earth elements anywhere from Positano, Italy, Dubai, the Greek islands, East Coast, West Coast, Canada, the base camp of Mount Everest. That's one that people love to hear about.
oh my
You have
God.
Corsica?
I believe we do. I believe we do. I would have to look that one up. And of course, we're careful with that. We don't use sand from Hawaii because in 2013 it did become illegal to use sand from Hawaii commercially. There are like dredging laws and things like that that apply to construction on the beach, and so we're very careful when it comes to all of that.
It's amazing though. I'm just picturing what your warehouse of sand must look like. They must have all different colors, all different granularities. You don't realize it, I guess, being a person who goes from one beach to another. But if you have them all in front of you, and I'm not going to ask you which is the best sand or anything like that, because I'm sure there's
Yeah,
lots of good stuff out there.
yeah. There's really pretty sand in Turkey, FYI, because I was just making some jewelry from there.
Interesting. I think what that does for you as a business, though, it's really smart because if you're just relying on people to send you whatever they're putting into their jewelry, then you're really kind of just a responsive business as opposed to, being able to be proactive, having all of those sands in inventory, and then you can theme it and flood a zone with certain elements as well. Like if the Caribbean sand is doing well, and then you have all these cruise ships, you can easily pull from your archive, make a bunch of pieces, and they're ready to go.
Yeah, yeah, it's great actually. And we usually have something for everyone. There's something.
Yeah, that I would imagine there
Yeah.
is. Um, so I guess like looking ahead, what does the next chapter look like for Dune? What are your aspirations and goals as you look to the next 5 years?
I really am excited about the thought of some small retail spaces in airports. We tend to do unbelievably well in airports. We're in the Grand Cayman Airport, St. Lucia Airport, and that's been huge for us. I would like to continue with our collaborations with larger celebrities and influencers, but not in the way like we're approached by influencers all the time that want to work with us, do something with us, and I find that it's very interesting the difference between a content creator and an influencer. Some of the content creators that I mean they make beautiful content, but there's no influence there. They just for whatever reason don't resonate that way, even though their content's beautiful. But when you really connect with a true influencer, someone who connects with her audience or his audience in such a way that they trust them and trust everything that that person talks about, that's a game changer for a business. It's huge. I would much rather have a passionate influencer with 500,000 followers stick with me as a business than have one of the Kardashians shout out one time about Dune Jewelry. It doesn't work like that for me.
Right. So you're more interested in the micro influencers and nano influencers. You're not looking for the big mega influencers because, as you rightly point out, they will post one thing one day and they could literally could post a competitor's piece the next day because that's where they're getting paid.
It's not trustworthy. I,
Right.
I don't, I mean, it's not, I want to continue being open, authentic, intimate with my customers and trustworthy.
Okay.
So that's why we have a lifetime warranty. We have all of these little things that build trust with our customers, and it's important, especially these days, because there's a lot of companies out there that don't.
No doubt. And that's why I was asking before about the notion of engaging your followers and the people that you're hitting up in the newsletter and that are following your journey and buying your pieces, because those are the people who are telling their friends about it. They're telling their followers if they have, certain followers, but they may not have the huge audiences, but they're certainly very influential in the conversation. And,
Absolutely.
yeah, and so
Yeah.
engaging them at scale is obviously another way to potentially build your business.
Yeah, I think live events, more pop-ups, things like that will come into play as well. That's how we started the business. I mean, I was 10 months pregnant hauling tables around to arts and crafts shows on the Cape, really. And I still have people that follow me on social from those days and like know my children and that whole thing. But it's it's a journey. I don't envy people starting a business right now. I feel like it's gotten harder. I feel so blessed to have started 15 years ago and been able to build upon that.
What do
So
you think is
Because we're
harder? What do you think
what
is harder now?
I think it's harder to reach an authentic audience. I think the competition out there is insane no matter what market you're in. Not only are you competing in your own market, but you're just competing for attention. You're competing for eyes on you or your brand. There's just too much out there.
Yeah. Well, so it's interesting because I remember, I was a media guy from way back, and I remember it wasn't so easy back then either to reach an audience, right? You had to go to where audiences gather, which was television, and then it was cable, and then it was
Sure.
the internet. So, it's continued to evolve. I think we're in a unique world now that um, any individual could be influential to many individuals. And so you
Yeah.
don't have to have a television show anymore. You don't have to have, a network deal. Like you literally could
Right.
have millions of followers or even a smaller number of followers, but your influence or your opinions with that audience resonates well and, you know, at the end of the day could end up selling products as well. So um,
Yeah.
it's
It's
just
so
of it,
interesting. Just the term or the thought, the concept of celebrity has changed so greatly, right? Like
no doubt.
it's yeah, it's hard. It's hard to explain. Um,
No, this is what we explore on the podcast, right? Because, your journey over 15 years, you've seen the rise of the importance of social media. You've obviously learned to embrace that along the way. And it's a great lesson, I think, for entrepreneurs out there. We don't live in a stagnant world. Whether you started your business 15 years ago or 4 minutes ago, at the end of the day, you have to realize the environment you're in, have the right plan, and execute on your plan and be ready to pivot. We've had lots of conversation with entrepreneurs where, the pivot is real. They get
Oh,
feet.
absolutely. Yeah. And the execution, I find that so many people have these amazing ideas, great ideas, but what's there, an idea is nothing unless you can execute on it.
No
Period.
doubt. So what
It's
advice, as we look towards the end here, what advice would you give yourself from 15 years ago, looking back with all the knowledge base that you have now? Like what would you have given that early entrepreneur as terms of advice?
Oh man. Advice for me early on would be it's simple. It's just letting entrepreneurs know it's not going to be easy. I've never spoken to a successful entrepreneur or mildly successful entrepreneur who's like, yeah, it's been great. It's been easy, unless they're full of complete
It's
crap.
never easy.
And people have said stuff like that. And then 6 months later, they're bankrupt. And you're like, okay, well, that makes sense. It's not easy. You have to be ready to be married to your idea, your business 24/7, 365. I think there's this concept that you start a business, you find some success, and all of a sudden you're yachting in the Caribbean, down in the Bahamas 3 times a year. And that's just maybe for some people, certainly people with maybe venture capital or huge investments. But at the end of the day, if you're talking small business, grassroots, bootstrap, you're going to be working for a long time to find that success. And
Which is what most entrepreneurs deal with.
yeah,
We took outside money and VC money for some big companies. It didn't change our life at all. It just gave us the opportunity to build our product out a little better. I mean, obviously our product is a little different than yours, but it required a lot of upfront commitment, and that's another set of oh my gods, right? I mean, as an
yeah.
entrepreneur, you start taking other people's money, and that adds a whole new level of toughness to it. I mean,
It's funny you say that. In the beginning, I did have some people offering to invest and wanting to get involved, and I I'm self-taught. I didn't go to business school. In fact, I didn't go to college. And so I was like, I'm not taking anyone's money. I don't want to owe anyone anything if this goes south. And that was the best decision I ever made. I did get a free mentor from the Small Business Administration, from a program called SCORE. And that was in 2012. We still talk to this day. And that was one of his he was like, do not take on partners. Don't do it. Just, it's you. We're going to do this together. I'm here to help you. And he really did teach me a lot. I did think of the advice that I would give myself 15 years ago, which is not everyone's going to like you. And that's a good thing, because as women, we are, not to do the male female thing, but as women, we're kind of taught that everyone should like us and we should be kind and nurturing and loving all the time. And we want that validation from people. And that's just, first of all, it doesn't matter if anyone likes you, as long as you're happy and you're doing the right thing. Second of all, if everyone likes you, you're probably doing something wrong in your business.
in some aspects, right? I mean, obviously you want to have a good relationship with everybody you do business with, but sometimes, as you rightly point out, it's unavoidable. You have to make decisions that's best for your company, it's best for ultimately your family. And the entrepreneurial world could be a very lonely place. There are times where I'm sure you can speak to just who do I ask that question to? I'm in the middle of this situation. I don't know what I should be doing. I mean, you obviously ask friends and family and so forth, but I'm fortunate enough to have a co-founder in this venture. I've had other ventures where I didn't, and positive and negative to both. It's just, as you you point out, it's not an easy journey. And that's why we
No.
do the podcast, because we like to highlight really good stories and entrepreneurs that, stuck to it. I mean, 15 years as an entrepreneur without any background, without any funding is incredibly, incredibly impressive. So you should be
Thank
really,
you.
really proud of that. Um,
Thank you.
yeah, no, Holly.
I've got my 13-year-old daughter working this summer, one
Oh,
day a
that's
week.
fun.
So that's been amazing. Like I feel like
Absolutely.
that's something that I've been working toward. Does she love it? Oh, not yet, but she will.
Okay. And she's 13. I'm not sure if she's supposed to love it yet, but maybe you're planting a seed that will grow at a later date.
Yeah.
Holly, thank you for sharing your incredible story and reminding us how powerful a memory can be, especially when it comes from the heart. If you're curious to see the stunning, one-of-a-kind pieces we just talked about today, or maybe even want to create your own, head over to Dune Jewelry. That's Dune Jewelry, JEWELRY.com. And check out all of the wonderful pieces they have. Thank you for listening, and great having you, Holly. Really appreciate the story.
Thank
Thank
you,
you so
Holly.
much for having me. Thank you.
You got it.